Hello world, welcome to the 236th video on my channel where I'm building my own digital assistant named Shane, like Jarvis from the Iron Man movies and comics. Recently, I've been working on a idea where I map out all the economics around my local town, which is Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana. And even more recently, I have been using a video game called Cities Skylines 2 to build my own map. And I can test certain, city planning hypotheses on that game because the AI behind it is pretty good. One of the things Cities Skylines allows you to do is create your own assets. And one of the most iconic things of Shreveport, Bossier City when you come into it is this Regions Tower. It is the largest skyscraper in the area. We have some skyscrapers, but this is the only really legit skyscraper we have. And it is one of the most major icons. It's not actually the region's headquarters, but it is just the tower of it. And so what I was going to do, and what City Skylines allows you to do, is use Blender to create your own asset. I can import this building into City Skylines 2, your own custom map. The only problem is I don't know how to use Blender. So for the last 7 days, I've been just Googling it and trying my best to learn it. And I think I've created a front facade because this is perfectly square building. And my thought process initially was just to create one side of it and then mirror each side of it. And then you would have all four pieces. Again, I don't know anything about Blender. I have never used it until 1 week ago. Now, one caveat to that is in 1999 or 98, I was one of two people in my high school that took a computer-aided drafting. Not took, but a lot of kids took it. But I was one of the only ones paying attention and did projects in computer-aided drafting, CAD, and a new air quoting here, 3D Studios. The only other kid that did 3D Studios was this super wealthy, spoiled kid who had a computer at home, which was kind of unheard of. You had to be very wealthy. He lived in a big 2-story house, had a nice vehicle, always made fun of my projects, right? But he was pretty helpful. But again, he got to work on it all the time. So I do have some 25 years ago experience with 3D software, but other than that, I don't. So let me show you what I've done for the last 7 days. This is my attempt right here at building the Regions Tower in Blender. So let's take a look at it. Now what I'm not going to show you is the render of it because I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to rendering. So one example is see how you can see these holes right here in them. I did a Boolean, which I'll explain in a second, but there are still boxes in here if I were going to render. They're just hidden right now. And so if I were to click here on one of these that are hidden and I open it, see, they're still there. The boxes are still there, but I did a Boolean. I just don't know how to get rid of these boxes yet. But anyways, see, so we're just going to look at it in what's called the viewport, which is this, and see how I recreated this kind of shiny material just in the viewport, right? I have all the dimensions I believe are correct. I'm still working on this. I only have one font in my install, this Regions. This triangle isn't split. This is supposed to be the solar panels. But the dimensions are pretty good. I followed them. I counted each one of these squares, right? So this one, for example, and then we have 4 here. And then we come down here and see, we have all of these up here. And then we have 4 here. And then we get into this right here. This is actually... Maybe I should make it thicker, but you see this facade right here. That is supposed to be like that. And then these solar panels. I don't know if they're solar panels or not, but tried my best to reproduce that. I don't know how to do that exactly. Yeah. So 7 days, that's not bad, in my opinion. I did start off everything with this A square. So this was just a add, like this, add a mesh cube. And then I shrunk it using scale to how I wanted, right? You see that? And then I went into edit by pressing tab and then did a control R. See? And if that doesn't show up for you, you just come off to the side, or you can come down here to make it a vertical. And then you can click anywhere. And then you see this, I made a side. And then I did that several times. Oops, I don't really want that there. And then I did that several times to create this little box inside of it. And then I just highlighted the face like that, and then extruded it. See, I don't even know how to really navigate, like move. But anyways, I extruded it inwards like that. So that way it creates this kind of inset look. So I'm going to get out of edit mode, go to object mode. And then I added some glass materials that I've been experimenting with. So there's the actual surface, right? This is what you're actually creating right here. It's just glass with roughness. But the viewport is what you're actually, when you look at it in this and not in a camera. So then I actually started down here all the way at the bottom. I started with this one right here. That's the very first one I made. So cube 1. And then once I had it, it was just 1 right here. And then I added a modifier. And then I just did array. 18 of them. Okay. So, and then I just copy and pasted here. Copy and pasted on the, I actually didn't go to this side first. And I'll explain why in a second. So then I did this one. I think I deleted the sec cube 2 because I didn't really know what I was doing. And as I was doing something, I was creating what's called keyframes. And every time I was happy with what I did and press save and then come back into the project, these would always revert down to, I think, 16 count. And the reason why is because I was accidentally creating these keyframes. So if you're a noob like I am and you're using array and it keeps changing, you can expand that. Let's do it on this one. You can expand that and go clear animation data like that. And then it will stay at that, right? You won't have any of these animations anymore, which is what I unknowingly did. So then we get to this one, and this is just a smaller array of 14. We get to this one. That's a smaller array of 12. Now, when you do array, you can do X wide, which in this case, my view would go backwards. And in that case, you would have a 1 here or whatever you want the offset to be. You could do Y. Y would go to the left. So it would go this way. Or you could do a -1 here and it would go this way to the right. And then I did a Z or Z. So Z is upwards. Sorry, I don't know why I said Z. I'm an American. Z is upwards. So I have a +1 here, and that connects it right on top of it. Likewise up here, and then I did it just to right here. Then I did an array here. Oops. Yeah. And so that now I have 16 going this way, right? And as you can see, my Y is -1, which is what I was explaining. The reason why I did it, then I came back down, was so I could have that even spacing. All right. That took me several days to figure this all out. So I get down to here, and that's the end of that. And then I added a new mesh, right? I just added a mesh, a new cube, and created one, and then just offset it here. Gave it a, let's go to the materials. I tried to make it this peachy thing, but I stopped here because this is supposed to be kind of a rock if you will. If you go up to this is cement. But for now, I just have the viewport displayed to this peach color. I increased the roughness, which doesn't really matter. And then I did this one, and then this one all the way up. Now to get this look right here, these holes right here, I can barely move. I took one of these squares right here, brought it down to right here. This first one right here. And then I did an array. Let's see if I can find which one that is. 24, nope. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Let's see, let's open that one. Nope. Let's look at this one. Nope. It's 30. Let's look at that one. Okay, so this is the number 30 right here. So this one right here, 30. Again, don't know why it keeps doing that. This one has no... I actually don't know what's going on with that one. Oh, it was just lagging because I'm recording. So let's go like this. Okay, so there's 10 of those. And then you can see that the Y offset is a negative, so it goes to the right, and it's negative 2.3, and that's how you get the spacing here on an array. So when you add modifier, go to array, you can adjust the Y. That way these are extended like that. And then once that was done, I extended the back of it, right? I just did S. I clicked on the object, press S, and then extended it through the X right here. And then once I had that done, I clicked on this, went to add modifier, went to Boolean. So that's a new Boolean right here. So make sure you have the object you want to stay normal. Press this little eyedropper, and then I pressed it on this object right here, which is the windows. And then it cuts these holes into it like that. That's what's called a Boolean. And then again, I don't know how to get rid of these actual boxes now that I have Booleaned it, but I just press H for this video right here. And then I did it here, then I did it there, then I did it here. So there you go. And then once that was done, and now to spin around like that, I'm holding my mouse wheel. Then I just added a reverse of that little square that I started because I like this black shiny material, and then just grew it behind it. So when you look right here, you have a different color black behind it, and I really like that. Right. Then lastly, I added these ones. These are just more arrays. And I tried to offset it right here like this, because these actually go backwards. Let me show you what I'm talking about. See, they go backwards like that, right? They're behind it and behind it. In hindsight, I need to actually make these 2 wide right here. If you can see, I think these are 1 wide. So I need to put more depth into it as I learn more. All right, so then I added text. You just go add text. It says the word text in it. It's probably going to push it down here. Yep. So let's click on that. Press G to move things like that. Oops. G, move it. This is embarrassing doing it live like this. All right, so that's the text like that. And then you can go press tab to go into edit mode. Tab, and then you can type whatever you want. Subscribe to my channel. You know, something random like that. Okay. And then you can just adjust it from there using this data, right? Changing the size of it, character spacing, whatever you want. So let's go tab, delete that. Let's go back to this. And so what I did have to do was create a big capital R and then a separate of just the egens. And that is because this capital R is gigantic. The rest, the triangle was not a smooth thing, right? I don't have those splits like that in there. This is just a triangle. To do a triangle, I just added a cube like this. Let's see where it's at. Cube G. Let's bring it all the way up. G. And then once it's like that, let's find my cube. Let's get it away so I don't touch anything, even though I'm not going to save what we're doing here. What I chose to do, you know, scaled it S. Let's just do the X to make it skinny. There, I did it like that. And then I did, let's try to get a weird angle on it. And then I went into edit mode, select the vertexes. So first these ones. Oh no, I think I clicked all of them and then pressed M, I think. Yeah, merge at center. There you go. You get kind of a cool 3D. So maybe I didn't do it like that, right? Because it comes to a pinpoint. So let's say I did it like this. Just selected the back two, pressed M at center. And then this one at center. Oops. Let's go. See, you see how bad I am? M, center. There we go. Now you get a triangle like that. Then gave it a color green in the materials here. So in both, I tried to make a surface, even though I'm not rendering this right now, and then a green in the viewport display. And then I did something a little similar with this right here. So I was able to do some subdivides. Again, you just press Control R, place it anywhere, and you can subdivide things like that. And I just did that a bunch of times. So let me get rid of that. But I don't know how to give each material. I want these lines right here, sorry. These lines to have its own material and width so I can create this solar panel look. I just don't know how to do that yet. So when we get out of edit mode and go back to object mode, it just looks like one big thing. Yep, so that's pretty much it. This is a beginner's 7-day attempt at recreating a real building, or at least the front facade of a real building to put into Cities Skylines 2. So I have a real world marker, so it's iconic. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This is not a place for Blender tutorials, but I do hope you subscribe to my channel to watch me complete this project and make my own city map so we can do some cool economics that will eventually be tied to real world data, which will be able to be consumed and visualized by my AI named Shane. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it if you did, and thanks for watching. Goodbye, world.